Regularly bending over to highlight your buttocks on stream. Oh my god, this is so funny. Twitch might be actually testing a mature content policy. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Here we go.
It's very important to know at the very beginning of this that Twitch, this is Twitch seeking feedback from the community using their research group to trial potential new changes to Twitch's sexual content policy.
So he's saying this isn't what they're planning on doing.
That they might be considering launching a kind of Twitch After Dark, and tying that in with the mature setting.
Well, what if you jerk off all day, though? Like, isn't that a little bit exclusionary? What if you jerk off all day, too?
Now, again, crystal clear, this is not confirmed, but it does come from Twitch, and it is them looking at the community saying, how do you feel about these changes?
Great. Let's, okay.
So I want to make that clear right off the top.
Got it.
To prevent any kind of misinformation that Twitch is definitely making these changes. They might not. They're seeking community feedback.
Okay.
Good.
I understand. Good.
Here it is. Twitch is proposing to prohibit nudity, pornography, and sexually explicit content, but allow other content that some users may consider to be sexually suggestive as long as the stream is correctly labeled as mature.
This is just like so vague, man. Like I want to see that. Let me let them read the rest of it, and we're gonna go from there. Okay.
We've talked about the mature setting on Twitch right now, where it really doesn't matter. The mature, you can set your channel to mature, and it doesn't matter. All it does is actually create a kind of stepping stone that prevents people from consuming your content. None of the top streamers really do it, except for Trainwrecks. Amaranth doesn't do it. None of the ASMRs really do it. There's no real reason to do it because Twitch does not actually enforce it.
Right.
Specifically, Twitch will prohibit sex and masturbation and content that is mimicking or implying sex or masturbation, as well as the outcome of sex masturbation, i.e. sexual body fluids.
I think, like, you know, for example, like, I've made jokes of, like, myself jerking off on stream, or, like, you know, like, you know, the Yashlada body pillow or something like that. Like, I'm gonna keep doing that because I think it's totally fine. And if they want to suspend me for that, I'll go to YouTube. It's just, like, such a stupid thing to get mad about. But it's, like, very obvious whenever you're doing something as a joke versus whenever you're doing something as, like, it's like the intent of it is not to be sexual, it's just goofing around. Body pillow thing was joke. Yeah, it was funny.
This policy update will be rolled out with product changes to the mature flag. Okay, so they're saying that it's going to be released. I don't know if they are or not. They're seeking feedback. But related to the mature flag. So again, the mature flag currently says that your channel is mature content, but there's no reason to do it. There's no reason not to do it. It's just not enforced.
I think that they will do this. And the reason why I think that Twitch will do this is because this is something that affects ad revenue. Because this is, and this is what I'm worried about if they ever do this, is because labeling your stream as mature is probably like telling Twitch, hey, don't put ads on my channel. Because a lot of advertisers, this is, you know, something I know, because, you know, we run OTK, and so, like, I have to deal with this sometimes, right? I have to read through these contracts. Is that a lot of the contracts have what's called, in many cases, a morality clause. They have, like, don't put our content next to, you know, extreme political messaging. Don't put our content next to pornography. Don't put our content next to drugs. Don't put our content next to, you know, like gratuitous violence or something like that, right? And these are just things that exist in pretty much every single advertising contract that I've ever fucking seen. And, like, Tips has seen a million more of them than I have. You probably ask him, he tell you the same thing. So what I'm assuming this is that a lot of advertisers, like sexual streams on Twitch are, like, way a bigger deal than what they really are, right? You have, like the ASMR section, and there's, like, maybe 3 other streamers that do this. It's like less than 1% of the traffic on the website is to these streamers. It really is. It's less than 1%. And so people say, like, it's a plague. No, it's not. It's 1% of it's less than 1% of the user base on Twitch is even consuming this content. And you can just look this up very easily. It's so easy to find. So anyway, the point that I'm making, more like 3 to 6%, but okay. No, I really do think it's less than 1%. I think that it might be less than 0.5 even. Like, it's extremely, extremely small. Like, it is, like, vanishingly small. Like, it's tiny. And like, all you have to do is just look at, like, anytime, if you want to, why don't you do this, if you don't believe me. Look at the top 100 streams on Twitch, aggregate through, like, all languages, all games, everything. Take the top 100 streams, add up all of the viewers in that stream, and then take the booba streams that are out of that, and then say what percentage of that is it. Because I'll tell you what percentage it is. It's probably like 0.3. It's nothing. It's absolutely fucking nothing. It's tiny, man. It's less than 1%. They're feeding to that 1%. So, like, this is what happens, right? Is like this Twitch 1% thing happens. But like, this is the thing. Everybody thinks about, like, oh, wow, Twitch with, like, these cam girls and, you know, like, oh my God, they're just, like, doing porn on Twitch, right? And, like, that stuff gets to advertisers. And I can guarantee you that there have been advertisers that have come up to Twitch and said, hey, listen, you know, we saw this stream. She's been licking a microphone. Well, why is she wearing yoga pants then and facing her ass towards the camera? Why do you think that? What is this? This isn't ASMR. This is ASMR. Like, what's going on here? So, like, you see this, and like, the advertisers don't want to have their content next to it. So Twitch is trying to create a tag that can exclude the advertisers from that type of content if they choose to be taken out of it, because advertisers are what makes Twitch money. So Twitch doesn't want to have those advertisers leave because the advertisers don't have enough autonomy over deciding what content their advertising is put next to.
To make it easier,
because I want to make it very clear, Twitch doesn't care about any of this. Twitch only cares because it loses them money. Twitch used to let people say the F word all the time. People could even get away with saying the N word with the A. But very regularly, this would happen all the time. That's why you see so many clips from people back in like 2012, 2013 saying it constantly. It's because they didn't care. And it's not like Twitch a lot of people that working at Twitch now worked at Twitch then too, right? Like, it's not like they suddenly somehow cared. No, they only cared whenever it started making them lose money. That's all it was, yeah. That's the only time that they started caring. So it's not like, this is why Twitch is doing it. You have to follow the money with a lot of this stuff. People said the hard R back on old Twitch. No, they didn't, because if they did, then Barry wouldn't be banned.
To change the settings to make the flag more impactful for discovery.
Yeah.
What does that mean? To make the flag of mature more impactful for discovery.
The odds are is they're going to make it to where you can't watch those streams unless you were logged in on a Twitch account, and the Twitch account has a setting that's probably turned off by default, turned on to show mature content. It's like safe search on Google, for example. That's kind of what I'm guessing.
To me, that suggests the opposite of discoverability.
What a smart guy. This guy's really got his finger on the pulse of what's going on, don't you think? This guy, what a smart and insightful young man we have here. Remember when Twitch was all about gaming? No, I don't. Like, it wasn't. In 2012? Really? Well, then why were Mitch Jones streams where he was just talking to girls so popular back then? Huh? Yeah, come on.
Suggests that perhaps something that is a little bit more mature might be less discoverable, but huge. You can create it with less confusion.
The law? Yeah.
All right.
I remember.
And to enable Twitch to turn on and enforce the usage of the flag, which they currently do not do. All right. So that's the context at which the rest of this has to be looked at through.
Makes sense.
So here we go.
Holy shit!
That you
They're just putting it out there, aren't they?
According to this potential new sexual policy.
Holy shit!
Users are prohibited from broadcasting, uploading, soliciting, offering, and linking to pornographic or sexually explicit content. This includes, but is not limited to...
And this is already the case. Like, girls can't promote or advertise their OnlyFans, etc. I was actually kind of surprised that Twitch, like, Cutie Cinderella, because wasn't the Streamer Awards promoted by Fansly? And Fansly is just like a... it's like basically the... It's like you could say OnlyFans is like Walmart and like Fansly is like Target or something. I don't know. Target's kind of better than Walmart, but it's just like the other version of it, right? Like OnlyFans is McDonald's and Fansly is Burger King. Like that's basically it. So I was surprised that they let her do that with like such a big sponsor. But, you know, it's a loophole. Yeah, I guess it is a loophole. That's a really, really good point. And I'm wondering if, like, if other streamers will do that in the future. You know, they'll say they're being sponsored by Fansly or they're sponsored by OnlyFans or something like that. But they actually have their own content there, too. And to get around the rule against it. Yeah, I'm really curious to see what's going to happen.
Explicit, simulated, or implied oral, anal, or vaginal sex. Explicit simulated or implied self or mutual masturbation, including groping or caressing genitals.
Okay.
This kind of makes sense. I don't think this is already allowed on Twitch as it is, but one of the things I want to point out, they made an update to their harassment and hate policy to provide
look. Posting detailed ASCII art of an erect penis in chat. Like, did Twitch literally type this out? Like, who? Like, they actually? It's like you typed it out. Like, that's one thing for it to be against the rules, just like implicitly, right? But it's another thing for it to be literally written down on page 3. Like, it's right there. You can see it. It says no erect penis ASCII art. That's it. Oh my God. Posting a fictionalized image of a character that's obviously has an erection. Oh, that's not, it's such a, I feel like the context around this, like, matters. Like, it's like, that's not a big deal, like, most of the time, unless it's being done, like, all the time, or, I don't know. It's like, I don't think that's a big deal.
Examples of what those things
Just
would
seems
be.
like very,
and they've done that here. Playing a,
like a meme too.
pornographic audio on stream. Sharing or creating content with explicit or implied erections. And I'll point this one out for M60. Posting detailed ASCII art of an erect penis in chat no longer would be allowed.
Oh my God.
Displays of sex toys in a non-educational context.
This is incredible.
Okay. Phone sex, chat sex, or otherwise engaging with other persons or chat to create new content related to sex or masturbation. Display of sexual body fluids.
I wonder if that's like no dating streams. It's really hard to say because, like, is it really no dating streams? Like, in my mind, it's like, no, not really. It's because, like, dating streams, like, clearly, if, like, there's a girl doing dating streams, it's clearly implied with, like, sexuality stuff. But I don't think that's really a big deal. Like, I always err on the side of letting people do whatever they want. Like, I think that just in general, I think let people do what they want to do. It doesn't really matter. If you don't like the content, don't watch the content. To the extent that the content does not tangibly harm an audience, I don't see the problem with it.
Performing, creating, or sharing violent, humiliating, or gore bodily fluid-related fetish content or content involving bestiality or incest that includes bodily display of sexual...
Clearly deliberate positioning of a sex doll in the background of a web. I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back. So basically, Soda Poppin' is getting banned. He's done. It's over. Yep. It was a good time, but, you know, we had a good run. Actively displaying masturbatory aids on stream? Oh, like a dildo. Showing a dildo on stream? Like, oh, who gives a fuck about that? I mean, I guess, like, if you're making it the point of the show, but if you're just, like, doing it for a joke for a couple of seconds, who cares? The sponsors? Well, you've got to fucking say something. Like, there's always a back and forth, right? It's about intent. It's clear what the intent is in many cases. I A1 steak sauce. Oh my God. Participating in phone sex with an undisclosed individual on stream? Yeah, I would say that's the problem. Role-playing sex acts with a stream audience. Wait, didn't we do that before? Because remember we had like those girls on like Moonguard? Fuck it, I'm gonna keep doing it. That was funny. That was good content. There's no way they'll ban me for that. Like, that was fucking funny. ERP is banned too. Yeah, it's like, the fuck? displaying an image of a person covered in sexual fluids, I think that would make sense. Displaying an artistic depiction of an individual licking fluid off another person's. So they're getting Nick and soda. They're shutting down that whole house. Oh my god. Oh my god. Like, what the fuck? Oddly specific, yeah. Performing BDSM. What the
body fluids, performing, creating, or sharing violent, humiliating, or gore bodily fluid-related fetish content or content involving bestiality or incest.
No, you see, we were gonna go over to Live Leak, but I guess now we're not gonna be able to do that for very long.
That includes any BDSM content involving more than one adult. Sexual violence and exploitation of sexually explicit content involving minors are strictly prohibited.
Oh my
See our policy on
God.
sexual exploitation for details. For more details. That is the stuff that would be potentially not allowed. It seems I think that's already the case on Twitch, if not a little bit pared back from what they usually have limited, and they've provided actual examples here. They've actually provided examples, so you can kind of get an idea of what
They have provided too many examples.
is not allowed.
Oh
As it
my
relates
God.
to having the mature tag here, in that it looks like they might be a little bit more flexible, and they provided some options here. Mature content. While some content may not violate our community guidelines, it might not be appropriate for all Twitch users. To protect Twitch's younger users and to help all viewers make
To protect Twitch's advertisers.
more informed choices about what content they watch, we require creators to mark their stream as mature when a core aspect of the stream or its focus is on mature content.
See, like, this is what the problem is that it's like Twitch, it's like you have a girl sitting in a fucking kiddie pool in her bedroom with a bikini on, writing people's names down on a whiteboard that's on the floor, so she has to bend down to write the name down. Like, the problem fundamentally is that Twitch just doesn't call shit what it is. It's like, it's a loophole, but like, I don't, like, to me it's like, this has always been the way I've looked at rules. And this is kind of like what I said before about like how I don't agree with a lot of rules, I just ignore them. I think that rules should be definitive. And it should be also the intent of the rule rather than just like the explicit stated thing about the rule. Because you're always going to have people that try to just go a little bit over the line and just try to get around it. In my opinion, if somebody tries to bend the rules, just fucking ban them. Just time them out. Just give them a suspension. Be like, look, we know what you were doing. You know what you were doing. Everybody knows what you were doing. And you got. That's it. The problem is that Twitch never wanted to call it what it was. It's like, look, the ASMR section, I said this before, it's a dick sucking simulator. We all know it. That's why we watch it. But that's what it is. How are you going to try to help everybody go to sleep if every single person on the top there is in a bikini with cleavage? Shut up, you know you do. Look, like, what don't you think that isn't just like an interesting little coincidence here? It's because it's sexual. Duh. I'm not even saying it should get banned, but that's what it is.
And this is where we actually get some answers here in terms of what would be considered mature content. And I gotta say, if this is the case, if this gets released, it definitely offers the ability for streamers to essentially create a Twitch After Dark category. It might not be visible. It might be removed from some sort of discoverability.
That's what they'll do. Yeah.
Can't see the word. Discoverability. It might be removed because of the mature tag, but it looks to be a little bit more flexible. Sexually suggestive content. While Twitch prohibits nudity, pornography, and sexually explicit content, content that viewers could find suggestive is allowed as long as the stream is correctly flagged as mature. We also require that creators mark their stream as mature if the content/behavior is very likely to elicit a more mature chat conversation. Examples of content that require a mature...
See, like, this is just, in my opinion, I think Twitch should not do this. I think Twitch should not do this. The reason why I think they shouldn't do it is because you're going to have all of these girls that are going to basically, like, let's say you're a girl and you have some big ass titties. I've seen a lot of streams like this before. And you have some big ass titties, and you just sit in full cam and you just talk to people with your big ass titties. 90% of the messages in chat are not about what you're talking about. They're not about it. They're about something, two other things besides that. So, like, do you put that in sexually suggestive content because of her body? Or do you say, well, it's just your body and you're wearing what you would normally wear going out, right? Because, like, you see women that are going out, like, you go to, like, go downtown, you see women, just some big-ass titties wearing a tank top or something like that. Like, it happens. It's great. But, like, it doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen. So this is kind of, it's like there are certain girls, like, that's what it is. So, like, how do you, because if you say that it's sexually suggestive content, and like, obviously, if a girl, this is what happened with Velvet. Remember Velvet, right? I remember Velvet very well. Velvet, it's like, okay, all of the dances that you do just happen to involve jumping up and down. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? And so it's like, bring back Velvet, she's unbanned, she's fine. And so again, like that, trampoline stream or something like that. Of course, remember, I know what's going on. And there's been a number of other ones that have been removed from the website. I've gotten, like, they banned Barry, for example. Like, I have a list that I could go through, but all I'm saying is that sorry, but this reeks of communism, which is kind of ironic. Yeah, you know what? I agree. I never saw it that way, but now that you bring it up, when I really think about it, is like, whenever I think of boobs, I think of communism. That's true. That's so true, man. Like, that's a really, really good way to make that make sense. The only thing that has in common with communism is that not Saddam Hussein, fucking, who's the guy that before him? Stalin had a porn star mustache. Like, that's the only thing that it has in common with communism at all. That's it. So, well, why don't you just stop? Saddam Hussein actually got Saddam Hussein looked up to Stalin a lot. That's why he has the mustache. It's actually because of his respect for Stalin. You might not know that, but yes, that's what it was. Anyway, that's why I confused the two. So what I'm saying here is that I feel like this is like, I feel like if Twitch writes it down, it's worse than if they don't write it down. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's worse than if they don't write it down. You're the only one stalling here? True. All right, let's keep going.
Flag include, but are not limited to, sexual health education content. Discussions of sexual topics or experiences, performing or creating material that could be considered fetish content, body writing on top of breasts, inner thighs. There's currently no...
That's not fetish content. What do you mean? That's normal. Like, that's normal. Like, what's wrong with that? Like, no, it's 100% normal. Setting up a webcam that focuses only on your feet... Oh my god. And there's gonna be, like, the thing is that here's what the problem is that girls that like these girls, like, it's like their job to get around the rules. That's their job, is to get around the rules and to promote this stuff in a sexual way. They're gonna find a way around it. It doesn't matter how many rules you write down, because they're always gonna find a way to bend the fucking rules. Think about, here's a really good example of this. Taxes. Taxes are the most complex, convoluted, absolutely impenetrable wall of legal text that's existed ever. And people still find ways to get through. Because in many cases, in many regards to people, they think that it's because the rich people had those loopholes written in. However, they still exist. You see what I mean? Like, there's always going to be a way to get around it.
Policy that details that. And now they're saying, yes, you can do that, but you got to be mature. Got to have your stream set to mature.
Yeah.
Again, theoretically, if this gets released, again, I want to make that very clear. This doesn't guarantee that this does get released. They are seeking feedback from the community using the research portal to get this feedback right now. Setting up a webcam that focuses only on your feet. Twitch in favor of potentially having a feet cam.
So basically what I've learned from this is that at Twitch, most of the guys at Twitch like ass. Because they're getting rid of boobs, no thighs, no feet. But there is not a single rule where they're talking about ass. You see that? Below? But that's caressing. That's different.
I'm going to tell you right now, if this gets released, if this policy does get implemented, LSF is going to freak the fuck out. There is going to be chaos in the Twitch streets. Groping, fondling, or caressing your own or another individual's breasts, buttocks, or breasts, as long as such content does not progress into explicit, simulated, or implied masturbation. They're saying that in this context, it might be okay. Prolonged kissing. They're saying that in this context, it might be okay.
All right, bro. Yes, dude. Holy shit, we won. There it is.
Prolonged kissing, or repeatedly kissing the webcam. Repeatedly sharing depictions of facial expressions associated with sexual arousal. Content framing, camera angle.
Broadcasting content featuring a hago or similar expressions that imply orgasm. So, I think Rich had an emote, and we had to take, because there were like, he had one of those faces, right? And he had to take the white, like, stuff off of the face, because, like, it could be interpreted as cum. Oh my god. Oh, wow. Is it making jokes with an O face? Yeah, no more honing streams, guys. Sorry.
Oh!
He acts like I do.
And body poses that are intended to highlight an individual's buttocks, crotch, or breasts, including in artistic creative content. Angling the webcam so that it focuses on a woman's cleavage instead of her face, creating a painting of a character where the perspective focuses on their buttocks.
Regularly bending over to highlight your buttocks on stream. Oh my god, this is so funny. Oh my god, this is so fucking funny. It's like, my favorite thing about this is that it's like, yeah, this is the around, yeah, whatever, right? I don't give a shit. But it's just that this is so clearly a response to what people do. It's like they have like it's like a team of like professionals that like find the best way to like professionally writing down top donator lists on a whiteboard, bending over, right? It's like highlighting degeneracy. It's like you take it and you write it down as if it's serious. It's funny, man. Why are gambling streams okay, but boobs and butts terrify everybody? It's simple. I mean, you just have to go back 500 years to understand the influence of the church, and then understand how, you know, like, and in the 50s, right, this is a big fucking deal, right, with McCarthyism. And it's not just in America, because like this fucking, the Dark Ages happened in Europe. But the good thing about that is we're not still in them. So they at least figured out a way around it. But like, here's what I'm saying. Humans are sexual things. Yeah, what I'm saying is that the Puritans ruined this. Yeah, McCarthy's. It's like 1,000 years. Has it been 1,000 years? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it has been. It's hard really for me to say. Think of the kids. Puritanical values. Look, if you want me to be honest, like, I'm not a fan of the gambling streams. I'm not a fan of the of a lot of these streams, right? I don't like a lot of them. So like in general, I don't really want to go around and tell people what they can and can't do, because it worries me that they're going to do the same thing to me. And this is why I stopped trying to push people around to try to make them like think the way I think and like make things that I dislike against the rules. Because at the end of the day, there was one time that we had a Twitch policy update, and it was like at the beginning of BFA or something like that, or like it was during, I think it was like BFA beta whenever it came out. And they said that like you couldn't make a bunch of jokes that I used to make all the time. And they also said that girls couldn't do certain things that were like explicitly sexual. And it's like, was it worth it for me to have that? Like, was that a good trade? No. No, all I did was lose something that I got. Yeah, that's what road to hell is always paved with good intentions. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so just never have good intentions. That's the solution. So you never go to hell. Yeah, problem solved. So yeah, it's a shit trade. Exactly. You've suffered since? Yeah, like I suffer every single time that I see something and it's like, ooh, I would make that joke. Ooh, I would say that, but I can't. And I get in trouble, right? And like every once in a while, I'll make a joke like that. Some people will get pissed off about it and I'll get a tweet about it. And I don't care. It doesn't really matter. I only apologize if I feel like I'm wrong, and I'm almost never wrong. It's all about sponsors, right? Yeah, I think that a lot of it is about sponsors. Yes.
Engaging in strip teases or lap dances, or prolonged or repeated dancing focusing on daggering, my favorite dance, grinding, that's why I own a ladder, that primarily involved or are intended to showcase breast or buttocks. Pole sports or acrobatics, performing pole exercise routines, practicing for a pole acrobatics competition.
Wow.
Displaying or creating art that includes
this is
fictionalized
awesome.
Exposed breasts or buttocks. Channel text, titles, overlays, or go-live notifications that contain titles, names with overt or implied sexual themes, including NSFW, erotic, or implicit references to sexual body parts using emojis or graphics. Directly encouraging or eliciting sexual, suggestive, or otherwise mature conversations in chat. Users may not offer any sexual content, including the above content, even when it's properly labeled as mature, in exchange for money, services, or items of value. This includes linking to exchanges of such content off of Twitch, such as OnlyFans. This was presented to the Twitch research group, asking for feedback from the community. Now, they do send out a lot of different various requests for information, including things like, how do you feel about this logo? How do you feel about this car ad? How do you feel about this slogan?
See, you guys think that this is a good thing? What do you think this is going to be it? What about the fact that I talk about fucking people in the ass all day? Oh, this boss fucked me. I felt like I just got fucked in the ass with a wheelbarrow full of dicks. Like, I want to be able to say and do whatever the fuck I want. And I'm willing to let other people say and do whatever the fuck they want. Because here's what happens. Whenever you turn around and you say, oh, well, I don't think you should be able to do that. You know what they're going to say? Oh, well, I don't think you should be able to do that. And then nobody gets to have fun. Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah, it's not like this is just a one-way thing. Yeah, I would prefer that they just let... Like, the thing is, the ASMR section isn't hurting anybody. Like, nobody's being hurt by the ASMR section. No, this is not like causing anybody like mental harm. This is not ruining anybody's life. There's nothing like this. So like so like this is the way I look at it, is like whenever you start trying to monitor these things, in my opinion, if you start doing things for the greater good, then I think you can make a lot of arguments that many types of platforms or many types of content on the platform should not exist. It's not about you, it's about the advertisers. And like I can understand, like here's really what it is it is about us though, because like at a certain point, how many of you guys, let me ask you a question, how many of you guys used to be fans of a certain type of content before the content took on a lot of advertisement and a lot of funding, and then the content was neutered in order to be compliant with that advertising's expectations, and then the content no longer interested you? Like how many, because I've had that happen before. Yeah, many of you guys have had that happen. So, like, this is a bad thing for you guys, too. And it's a bad thing for the platform as well. If things start really becoming super defined like this, I would say. Advertisers killed Dave Chappelle, though? Well, I mean, did they really kill Dave Chappelle? I thought Dave Chappelle just took a break from doing work, and he, took a break. He came back. As far as I know, The Closer is still on Netflix, isn't it? Yeah, like, yeah, he's thriving. Yeah, it's still up. Yeah, he's doing fucking fine, man. You gotta show your feet? No. Absolutely not. And so, yeah, he said fuck the money and left. Yeah, of course. Problem is legal ramifications if it gets framed as sexual solicitation. And like, there's a lot of legal rules with that too. I think, let me finish the video, then I'll give my final opinion on it.
So it doesn't inherently mean that these are coming to Twitch.
Yes, that's true.
Figuratively, or metaphorically.
These are PTR patch notes. They can change.
But it shows that they are actually interested
They're thinking about
in potentially either loosening or making more clear what the sexual guidelines, what the mature content will be on Twitch. I, for one, am particularly interested in seeing it. I don't know for sure that having having a Twitch After Dark category is inherently good or bad. I don't actually know.
I think it will be harmful for the platform, and I don't think Twitch should do it. Because if they have the Twitch After Dark part of the platform, it's like OnlyFans. Do you know, like, certain countries and certain places have OnlyFans accounts just for people that want to see special types of photography? But whenever you say OnlyFans, you think of girls that are selling nudes. The fact is that if you have this happen, if you think of, like, a lot of things that have sexual content involved with them, one of the first things people think about with Lost Ark is booba. Like, they're not thinking about, like, it's like, you know, maybe isometric content, booba, and then, like, 5 different levels down, pay to win. Like, that's it. Yeah, that's 100% what people are thinking. And, like, that's what the conversations were about a lot. So I think that if you do that and you allow that on the platform, that will become what the platform is known for. Absolutely. Pay to win is first. Oh, yeah, because you're a fucking MMO nerd. Yeah. Go read the top comments on a lot of Lost Ark videos, and they're showing the cinematics and showing gameplay, and everybody's talking about the female characters. I'm an MMO nerd too. Like, I get it. Like, that's the first thing I thought of as well. But you've got to keep in mind that that's not, you're not the average person. Why wouldn't they want the OnlyFans money, though? Because sometimes whenever you allow yourself to have money and promote sexual content, there are different types of advertisers and different opportunities that aren't as available to you because people don't want to be seen as promoting that content as well, primarily advertisers. So that's why these companies don't do it. That's why they don't just, like, have a section for it, is because even having a section for it means that they're hosting the content, and then the platform itself serves as basically a gateway to that content, which then people could use to say this is promoting sexual content, and the advertisers don't want to be on the sexual content, right? That's it. OnlyFans makes more than enough to counteract that. You think OnlyFans makes more than enough to counteract the billions of dollars that Twitch gets in advertising revenue that's growing every single year? Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I really just don't think so. And also, like, it's not as it doesn't have the longevity either. You have no idea. You're right. I have no idea. Like, I'm not 100% sure, but I would pretty much bet that that's not the case.
But I think that having more clear answers on what is and isn't okay with examples does actually help a lot.
I think I completely disagree. I completely disagree, because if you create examples, you then create a frame of reference that people can deviate from and say that they were not part of the examples. If you just say no sexual content, you can just use that as an overall rule. Like, in my opinion, I think that it's always a good idea to have vague rules, and people that explicitly break the rules with intent to break the rules are the ones that you suspend. Like, it's more effective, and it's just cleaner that way. Not limited to, yes, not including. People will complain that it's not clear enough. Who cares if they complain? Then what? Then what? So they're complaining? Then what? Yeah, ban them. Yeah, that's it. Some creators will then sue Twitch. Oh, man. There's a lot of people that just don't get it. They just don't fucking get it.
And then again, kind of relating it to the discoverability thing here, to make the flag more impactful for discovery, would actually potentially make it so that content that people might find to be sexual, for example, a lot of people take issue with the ASMR category and the amount of tongues that are in ears, perhaps that would be allowed, but in a kind of a sequestered area of Twitch.
Yeah, that seems about right. Yeah.
A twitch.tv and you went into browse and you went into ASMR, perhaps it would not be there. Perhaps it wouldn't inherently be available on the front page. Perhaps it would be more akin to having content like this that might be there because it would be considered too mature. And so you would have to potentially go to an offsite or switch a setting to say, hey, yes, no, I am mature, I'm 18
So
plus,
he's saying
whatever.
exactly what I'm saying.
And as such, that content would be more allowed on Twitch. It's kind of interesting.
It's
we'll
not
have to see
sexual,
what ends up
by the
happening.
way. It's just to help
Again,
people
we don't
relax.
know for sure whether or not it will end up getting any kind of release, but I'll definitely keep an eye on it, and this is kind of the first look at a potential change to it. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you click like, click subscribe up there, and then watch this video. What else you got to do?
I'm going to go ahead and link you
You're
guys
on
this
YouTube
video.
anyways. You might as well watch something else. It's right there.
I like this guy. He came out with the video, and you know, he's wearing a suit in the video. I think that's kind of funny. And overall, he was the first guy I saw that came out with this news, and I think it's kind of a big deal. It was so weird for me to see this. Like, he's only got 1,000 views on this video. This is a fucking huge thing. This is a huge fucking thing, and nobody sees it. Yeah, there you guys go. There's the video. Give him some support. Yeah, there we go. ASMR is to help you relax. Well, you're right. After I get done jerking off, I'm very relaxed. You're totally fucking right. And I'm not saying that you're wrong. Yeah, totally fucking accurate. Absolutely. So yeah, this is a good video. I'll read a few comments here. Twitch being able to include some content thing. Amazon, hope Amazon up in the long term. Yeah, I think it's just about them trying to reconcile this with advertisers. I think that this is a rule. I don't think Twitch cares. I don't think it matters to them. I think Twitch only really cares whenever it hurts their bottom line. And I think that's the case with pretty much anything. That's why they're fine with gambling and they're fine with all of this other stuff. Like, here's a good example, right? Is that is Twitch banned in Russia? Is Twitch banned in Russia? Yeah, I like Twitch is. I don't know if Twitch made that decision or it was just an overall sanction thing. But you have gambling on Twitch, but you ban it in Russia. Like, it's just. It seems to me like it's very fucking clear that Twitch just wants to do what is best for them, and there is actually no guiding moral compass around any of this. This is just them seeking the largest amount of dollars possible. And that's why I think they're trying to do this. And in my opinion, I think it's a bad idea. I think it's a bad idea, and it's going to cause so many problems with, like, what is a camera angle that is angled at your breasts? What is a correct attire? Like, it's just the more that you write down rules, the less that you know. There are certain things that are just a priori. Yes, you're doing it to be sexual. It is what it is. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. And that's it.